Article 6 of the Belgian Confession deals with the difference between the canonical and the apocryphal books. So just to refresh our memory, the canonical books are the 39 of the Old Testament and the 27 of the New Testament. So they form the 66 books that you'll find in the Protestant Bible. Now I say that specifically because the Protestant Bible, because in the Roman Catholic Bible you'll find usually between the Old and the New Testament a series of some dozen or 15 books called the Apocrypha. Now the Apocrypha, or the apocryphal books, were written between the time of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Apocrypha means something like, it's a Greek word, means hidden, and exactly, kind of ironic, exactly why they are called the hidden books is somewhat hidden from our knowledge. Some people explain it that they are called the hidden books because they were considered spurious. Some people said that they were called the hidden books because they were so holy that they had to be kept hidden from view. So whatever the reason for them being called the Apocrypha, the fact is that there are some dozen or 15 books that you will find in the Roman Catholic Bible and that you will not find in the Protestant Bible. Okay, so you will find them in the Bible of the Roman Catholic Church. Sometimes they are called the deuterocanonical books, deuterocanon, a secondary canon. So not quite of the weight of the Old and the New Testament, but they, according to Roman Catholic thought, have a secondary value. Now, as I said, they were written between the time of the Old and the New Testament, and they were gathered into the Septuagint. This is the typical sign for the Septuagint, 70. Okay, the Greek number 70. The Septuagint. The Septuagint is the ancient Greek translation, the very old Greek translation of the Old Testament. So the Septuagint consists of the 39 books of the Old Testament, which we have, and then also the Apocrypha, books that were written between the time of the Old Testament and the New Testament. So somehow they ended up being included in them, and they were in the Bible that was used for many years. They were translated into Latin as well, taken up into the Vulgate, the Latin Vulgate. But then when we come to the time of the Reformation, the Reformers were typically great scholars, and there was also a reformation of knowledge and scholarly work and research. And the Reformers sort of discovered that the Apocrypha was never part of the Hebrew Scriptures. So not part of the Hebrew Scriptures. And the Reformers said the 39 books of the Old Testament had always been recognized as the very Word of God, so we had to honor that by only having the 39 books of the Old Testament and then the 27 of the New Testament. So the Protestant churches, the churches of the Reformation, did not accept the Apocrypha as in any way the inspired Word of God. So what are we saying here in Article 6 of the Belgian Confession? After listing the apocryphal books. We say the church may read and may take instruction from these so far as they agree with the canonical books. They are, however, far from having such power and authority that we may confirm from their testimony any point of faith or of the Christian religion, much less may they be used to detract from the authority of the holy books. Okay, so that's pretty clear. We don't use them to either confirm the Word of God, much less do we use them to detract from the Word of God. Now, what sort of books are they? Well, some of them contain fantastic stories, almost hero worship, some fantastic stories about Daniel and others. But there are also books which are important historical documents. For instance, the books of the Maccabees give us some important history of the time of the Jewish people between the testaments. So they have some importance, they have some value, but we do not accept them as the Word of God.